Sorry, I don't know if people realise this. They can watch you on YouTube. So you're a little bit like Simon Cowell with that button open. What's going on there? Something for the housewives, yeah? Oh, quickly turn the YouTube on, dear. What's that all about?
Speaking of YouTube, how's the old...
people can subscribe to my new YouTube channel, Andy Goldstein. It's got 4 videos up.
What are you talking about?
Subscribe to it. Well, subscribe and you'll find out.
Well, I'm not doing that, but...
you'll be on it soon.
I won't.
I'll finish with all the important people and I'll come to people like you.
How can they find you?
Just on YouTube, Andy Goldstein. I don't really know. Just find it and subscribe. That's all I need to do. Then I can make a few quid. Right. Let's talk about this game tonight. In fact, we did talk about this game earlier on. We talked about David Moyes. I want to talk about managers under the cosh, right? You don't think David Moyes is under pressure. Is Jesse Marsch under pressure?
Yeah.
Do you know what? Don't look at the answer. I couldn't believe this. Look at me. When did he join Leeds?
Oh, I want to say he joined Leeds.
Go on. I couldn't believe this. Because it seems wrong saying this. Go on.
He joined Leeds. I want to say...
Have a guess.
March.
Right, yeah. This year, though. February.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
Was it March he joined?
February. That'd have been weird, wouldn't it? Jesse Marsch.
Joined in March.
He's only been there since February.
Yeah, but the results...
the results have been poor, to say the least. Why is that? When you look at what Leeds... I say why is that? We know it's the results industry, right? But it wasn't that long ago we were talking about Leeds and Leeds fans were phoning up saying, yeah, we really like him. It was the right decision to get rid of Bielsa.
This season, they got off to a good start.
Yeah.
Because they beat Wolves, drew Southampton. Remember when they battered Chelsea 3-0?
Yeah.
Got off to a good start. Obviously, then won in the League Cup against Barnsley. But since then, I mean, their form has been absolutely atrocious. I mean, we talk about 6 losses in 9 games.
Yeah, 4 on the bounce.
4 on the bounce. I mean, when you look at this Leeds team, it's almost like they revert back to type because we know what Bielsa was like. There was no plan B. It was almost like, right, man for man all over the pitch. There were gaps everywhere. And I'm not saying they're playing the exact same way, but sometimes they revert back to a similar type. Now, you look at, for instance, the Fulham game. There are gaps all over. People are just running through their team. Like there was a chance for Pereira and he missed it.
Sorry,
he had the freedom of the half.
If you're 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper and he had a lot of time to think about that,
a lot of time,
and I don't know if that's you'll know more than me. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
They're the hardest ones to finish.
Right, okay,
but it's almost like
you've got to finish. And Pereira's a really good player.
He's a good player. He's done really well for them.
Finish that.
There's gaps everywhere, and what he might have to do, Jesse Marsch. I know he doesn't want to do that, and he's got his beliefs into the way that he wants to play. But if you look at Steve Cooper, now he's got a way that he wants to play. He's had to tweak it slightly because they weren't getting results. What's he done? I think he's got 2 draws and he beat Liverpool. So he's given them the platform to go on and get points. As I said, he might not want to play that way, bit more pragmatic, but you're going to have to in the Premier League at times to get results. Jesse Marsch might have to do that because right now, whatever he's trying, which is obviously gaps everywhere, trying to get on the front foot, try and press. If you're going to work on a press and you're going to press as a team, there's got to be a trigger. Now, if one person goes, the whole team's got to go out behind you. But what they're tended to do is one will go, and then someone will go, oh no, then they'll go, and then the next one will go. But by then it's too late. The other team's passed through them. So he's got to change it the way he's attacking games.
One thing I noticed at the weekend, the Leeds fans were singing about Bielsa, singing Bielsa's name, right? Just before Steven Gerrard got the boot, Villa fans were singing about Steven Gerrard slipping on his backside. There was a song with the words in that. Right? What do you make of
Villa fans singing that?
Yeah, before Gerrard got the boot.
Before he had to, and then put him on the coach and let him drive back with the team.
Knowing he's been
sacked.
That was just horrific. What do you make of football fans singing about the manager? They want him to go or they prefer the other manager. Is that okay or does that not help things?
I don't like it, but that's just the way. That's been the same for years, hasn't it? When they don't want... Listen, you know I'm an Arsenal fan. The way Arsenal fans got on Wenger's back. And look what he did for the football club. So it's one of them where you can understand the Leeds fans' frustrations. He's come in, he did well back in the last season, started off this season well, but they're just too easy to play against this. They are so easy to play against, and Leeds fans are not happy. But again, if he then loses his job, because I think he's on the brink, Jesse Marsch, you talk about 4 jobs in the Premier League now. That's unheard of. At one time, 4 clubs without a manager in the Premier League. If you're a manager of some ilk, decent manager, you must get an opportunity now.
What did you make of Aston Villa? Because they were playing, I thought it was Barcelona when I turned them on. Their goals were fantastic.
Do you know what? It's one of them where you talk about the players and you go, right, they've down tools. Like, it's pathetic. It's awful what they've done. And maybe some of them, to an extent, didn't get on with Gerrard, so maybe they weren't producing the goods. But I think tactically at times, I think Steve and Gerrard got it wrong with playing players in certain positions. I think he was too loyal maybe to certain players. And we saw certainly a couple of decisions where the moment Gerrard unfortunately lost his job, first thing he does is take John McGinn out. Now, I like John McGinn, but he hasn't played well for about 18 months now. And when they gave him the armband, I don't think it did him any favours. So I watched Villa a lot this season, and at times I'm thinking, well, is this system really working? Are you being too loyal to Coutinho because you want it to work? And there are a number of these issues. But I think where not stumbled across it, but when I looked at Villa at the weekend, they get the early goal, which always helps. Then they get another one. So the ascendancy's there.
All great goals, by the way.
All great goals. The Villa Park then erupts. The whole end is going crazy. I think playing Watkins, I like Watkins. He's a runner, but he's not a finisher. He misses way too many chances. Ings is the finisher. So I think Ings has to play. So what do? You surround him with legs. So you put the likes of Watkins on one side, Bailey on the other side. They can both run. Bailey obviously can cut in, use his left foot. Buendia, he maybe hasn't set the world light, but he can run. You put these players around him, he will score goals. So it is unfortunate for Gerrard that he lost his job, but I think enough was enough.
Have you? By the way, talking of teams that look like Barcelona, we'll talk Everton a bit later on because they were exceptional, their goals. Have you been in a side where you've downed tools, even subconsciously without knowing it, managers gone, shackles come off and you start playing? Has that happened?
I won't say. Listen, you don't do it purposely down tools, but
it happens, right?
Of course, it happens.
Because every time I talk to a footballer, every footballer always says to me, "You don't go out on the field and give anything but 100%." But you look at Villa before Gerrard and after it, and it's obvious. It's obvious something's changed, and it's obvious that players weren't giving their all.
Well, there is a bit of that, but again, it goes back to that early goal in a game like that gives everyone massive confidence. Like he made a couple of decisions, took Coutinho out, took McGinn out. And it paid off straight. We got the rewards within the first few minutes.
There seemed to be an urgency about them.
Yeah, but Andy, when you score an early goal, that's the case.
I know, but
do you know what I mean? So if Steven Gerrard was still in charge and they got that early goal, they probably would have gone on to win 3-4-5. But the fact of the matter is, he tweaked a couple of the tactics, played people in their more natural positions, and there was a bounce there. But I mean, it's what they do next. Aston Villa, they've got to build in this performance because you can't go and beat Brentford 4-0 and then go and get beat your next game.
Well, I mean, do you see Brentford as the big yardstick?
You should know.
Always comes back to Brentford, doesn't it? Always comes. But listen, let's take calls from. We can take from Villa fans. Who you want next? Who are the two they're linked to? Pochettino? No, Thomas Tuchel. Were they linked to Pochettino?
That's Pochettino, yeah. But you know what? They've beaten Brentford. Their next two games: Newcastle away.
Okay, they won't win that.
And Manchester United at home.
Okay, there you go. Two more defeats.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.